In the next 20 minutes, you'll build something most people don't know is possible, your own private AI assistant running on your own server, fully under your control. In the last video, we talked about what OpenClaw is, an open source AI assistant that runs on your own hardware. Today, we're going hands-on. By the end of this video, you will have a working, secure OpenClaw setup. Let's start with where to install it. So OpenClaw is very powerful. It can read files, run commands, access your system, and that's why you need to think about where to actually run it. And there's three options for that. Number one is your main laptop or desktop. And that's risky because your agent has basically access to everything. And yeah, well, you gotta be careful with that. Option number two is a dedicated local device, a Raspberry Pi, an old laptop, a Mac Mini. We've seen lots of people buying Mac Minis. This is way better than your main laptop, for example, because your personal data stays separate, same setup process as what I'm showing today. And this is option number three, a VPS. This is what I'll show, completely isolated from your personal machine, runs 24/7, about 4 to 5 euros a month or dollars, wherever you're based. In this video, I'm using Hetzner. Any VPS provider basically works, doesn't matter which one you're going, whatever fits best. And once we're through the initial setup of the server, this guide applies to the dedicated local device. The commands are identical. The next couple of parts are if you're running this on a server. If you want to run this on a local machine, you can skip through the chapters after the initial server setup. So with everyone who wants to go step by step with setting up a server, this is how we do this. First thing, before we create the server, we need an SSH key. This is how we connect securely without any passwords. All the commands that I'm showing here are down in the description in the exact order as I'm using them, with the quick reference so you can actually go through them. This one here checks if you already have a SSH key. If you see a long string showing up starting with SSH, then you already have one. You can copy this and skip ahead. If you don't have one already, you can create one like this and then set a secure passphrase, and then you can also copy your key. That's how you are ready. For Windows users, it's in the PowerShell. I will link the commands down below. And if you don't know your way around the terminal, check out this video that I made for everyone, well, being new to the terminal. Now we actually set up the server. In my case, it's Hetzner. You actually need to verify yourself and set up everything there, but I don't want to go into detail here because this is for OpenClaw. I'm adding a new project, which is called OpenClaw Demo. I'm adding the project, going in there, going to server, add server. The CX23 is actually enough. Let's check if there's one in Nuremberg. No, there's not. So those are a bit more expensive. The CPX22, which is roughly $6.50 per month. We want Ubuntu 24.04. We can then add our SSH key. We added this. We don't need any volumes. We can set up a firewall later. Backups are really useful. It's about 20% of the server cost. So if you're going with Hetzner, actually the cost optimize are absolutely fine. There is none available right now, so that's why I'm going with the regular performance. And I'm going with Nuremberg because I'm in Germany, so completely up to you where you set this up. Now, setting this up, this takes a little bit of time until this is ready. Boom, here we go. Now we are back in the terminal, the server is online, and now we're connecting to our server. This is the terminal again. All right, now we're writing SSH, root at, and then the IP address. This is SSH identifying the server for the first time. Type yes, so we can save this and it connects automatically next time. And now we need to actually type in the passphrase for our public key. And now we are in. First things first, let's update the server. This is the prompt for this, and while it does this, we are using root for the simplicity of the tutorial here. This server is only used for a demo of OpenClaw. If you're using this long term, it would be advised to install OpenClaw under a user, but I did not want this to be too complex here. Now, let's do the automatic updates. Applying updates on a frequent basis is an important part of keeping systems secure. By default, updates need to be applied manually using package management tools. Alternatively, you can choose to have the system automatically download and install important updates. Automatically download and install stable updates. Yes. Boom. Next, we want to take care of the firewall. Deny anything incoming. Allow outgoing. Allow open SSH, and last but not least, let's enable the firewall. Proceed with operation, yes. This is working now, last but not least, and then we'll get started with the OpenClaw install. We want to disable the SSH password login and then reload the SSH, and now we should be good to go. The system is updated, the firewall is active, the password login is disabled, so we now have a solid baseline. Now this is all looking as expected. Now the server is ready to go, and now we start with the OpenClaw setup guide. So welcome back to everyone who skipped through the server setup part and wants to install this on their local machine. So now we're back together to actually get OpenClaw set up. There's only one command that you actually need to install OpenClaw. If you want to inspect it first, you can do this with -r install.sh. I'll also link that in the description, but for now, we just want to go with the one-liner, hit go, and now the actual OpenClaw installer starts. You can see this here. Install plan, OS is Linux, install method npm, requested version latest, makes a lot of sense. We want the newest. Now this may take a little bit of time. Node.js is not found, installing it now, installing Node.js via node source, installing Linux build tools. So all of that hasn't been installed. You can do this yourself, but well, OpenClaw can do this on its own. You don't need to actually do this. So we're going with the installer. Resuming the video once this is done. All right, it's slower sometimes. The last time I did this, it was super quick. Now it takes a little bit more time, but step 1 of 3, the environment is ready. I did not need to do anything. And now we're part 2 of 3, installing OpenClaw. Git is already installed. Here we go. And that's it. Starting the setup now. So OpenClaw onboarding has started. Security warning, please read. OpenClaw is a hobby project and still in beta. Expect sharp edges. This bot can read files and run actions if tools are enabled. A bad prompt can trick it into doing unsafe things. If you're not comfortable with basic security and access control, don't run OpenClaw. Ask someone experienced to help before enabling tools or exposing it to the internet. Recommended baseline, pairing allow list plus mention gating, sandbox and least privileged tools, keep secrets out of the agent's reachable file system, use the strongest available model for any bot with tools or untrusted inboxes. Run regularly, OpenClaw Security Audit Deep and OpenClaw Security Audit Fix. Must read is this security docs, and I understand this is powerful and inherently risky. Continue. Yes, so in my case, it's on a server currently running through root. I would advise doing this as a user, but as I said, for the sake of it, I'm the only user on this, and this is for demonstrating. Now the onboarding mode, we got the quick start, configure details later via the OpenClaw configure or manual. We're gonna do the quick start for now and ignore the manual for now. Let's go with the quick start to get this started. So Let me quickly explain what was configured here. Port 18789, that's the port OpenClaw listens on. Default is fine. Loopback, this means the gateway is only reachable from the server itself, not from the internet. That's exactly what we want. Token auth, every connection to OpenClaw requires a token, no access. Tailscale off just means the OpenClaw dashboard isn't exposed remotely. SSH access to your server is completely separate and unaffected. And then you can set up the model auth provider. So there's several options that you have. You can see here, Kimi, for example, Minimax, Anthropic, OpenAI. So OpenAI is basically ChatGPT. Anthropic via the setup token. Via Claude Code, I can do a tutorial on how to do this. They do not really want to do this. I think this is against the TOS, not sure. In my case, I'm going to show you how to do this with the Claude Anthropic API key. So this is token usage. You can do this with XAI, with Google. Basically, all of those out there are included in here. We're going to do this with Anthropic. And as I said, you can do this with the token. Run Claude setup token as well, then paste the token here. You can do this either on the server or on your own machine. If you want a tutorial on how to do this, this is with the Claude Code token. Happy to show you. Then you can do this through your subscription. But again, I think using it with OpenClaw is against the TOS, so be careful with that. For the sake of it, I'm showing how to do this with the Anthropic API key. Going to platform.claude.com/settings/keys. You actually need to set up a payment method. For example, with the credit card, get $5 on there, for example, to get started. If you want to do this with Claude, then you just go with create key. Name your key, OpenClaw demo. You can add this, paste it in here, and then you can actually choose the model. So the best by far is Opus 4.6 right now, but it is the most expensive by far. So be very careful. This is super expensive. For the sake of showing this, for example, Haiku 3.5 is super cheap, for example. This is the model that you could go with. Sonnet is good for writing, and well, yes, Opus is for everything that is for planning, coding, and all of that stuff. We're gonna go with the Haiku for now to keep this as easy as possible. And now we want to set up the channels in which we communicate with our bot. You can see this here. We have a lot of options with Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, IRC, Google Chat, Slack, whatever you name it. You can set all of those up. We're going to go with the Telegram bot API, and I'm showing you exactly how to set that one up. Here's the explanation. It's a bit slow, but it's working. Open Telegram and chat with Botfather. Here's how to do this. You can just search for @Botfather, as it says here. Run new bot or my bots, or just hit create a new bot. That's the easiest. Then you give it a name, OpenClaw demo video bot. You can put something in here, Luke's OpenClaw demo bot. This is available. Then we hit create bot. Then you copy the bot token, you paste it in here. Then you should be able to chat with the bot. You can configure skills. There are several that you can install if you want to. For example, the 1Password, set up and use 1Password, CLI. We have GitHub, Gemini, Nano PDF, Nano Banana Pro. So lots of skills that are pre-installed, but we're gonna hit the skip for now. with the space bar and then hit enter. Set Google Places API key for Go Places. No, we don't need this for now. Also not the Gemini API key. Notion, OpenAI for image gen. So if you want to use any of those and you have API keys, you can put them in there. But for now, we do not want them for now. Also, you can set up hooks. They let you automate actions when agent commands are issued. For example, save session context to memory when you issue /new. We can skip them for now and we will go into detail later here. Now we are there. Gateway service is being installed and now you can hatch your bot. Now we can actually hatch it. Okay, so here's a great example. The model that was set in the onboarding wizard from OpenClaw themselves did not work, but that's not really a problem. We'll use one of the most important commands for now. I exited this with Control-C 2 times and now I'm hitting OpenClaw Doctor, create OAuth directory, credentials, yes. Also, yes. And now let's see for the models. Let's hit OpenClaw models. Let's have a view. Right now, this is configured Anthropic Claude 3.5 Haiku. Let's check here. Let's copy the 4.5. We can always go back through the onboarding assistant, but for now, we can also do it like this. I just copied the current model and set it like this. Now the model has changed and now we should be able to actually chat with our bot. Let's hit start. OpenClaw access not configured, your Telegram user ID, pairing code. Ask the bot owner to approve with OpenClaw pairing approved Telegram. It shows my ID and if I hit enter, now this is set to my Telegram ID and now I should be able to, hey, are you there? Now it says HTTP 404 not found, error model Claude 3.5 Haiku. So it still wants to talk to a Haiku 3.5. Those are some typical problems that you can run into. And what you can do is OpenClaw gateway restart, because this is how we talk to the server from Telegram. And now let's give this another try if it's now working. Hey, are you there? Now it's actually typing. Hey, yeah, I'm here, just woke up actually, so forgive me if I'm still figuring things out. Here's the thing, I've got personality nodes and principles, but no actual identity yet, no name, no vibe, no nothing. And I don't know who you are either, so want to build this together. I could start by asking you a bunch of questions, but that feels backwards. How about you tell me who you are first, and then we figure out what kind of assistant actually makes sense to work with you. Name, time zone, what you're into, what you need from me, and all of that fun. My name is Luke, yours is OC Demo for OpenClaw Demo. I'm in Berlin, time been created for a video to showcase how to set up OpenClaw. All right, and now we're already talking to OpenClaw. It's connected to the Anthropic API. OpenClaw feature, just wait for a direction what you want to demonstrate. All right, let's see if this is actually working and that it has file access. Create the file root test.txt with the content. OpenClaw works. Let's see if it is able to do this. Done. I prepared this. Let's go back here. We're in the SSH on the server. Let's see if this is actually working, and it is. It says OpenClaw works. So here we go. That's it for now. This was already super long, but it was to get you actually started. Now we can talk to OpenClaw ear via the terminal with OpenClaw TUI or via Telegram. Both are working. What we can do on the server though is OpenClaw security audit, and we can see a few warnings and actually how to fix them. For example, Haiku is a smaller, older model. They are more susceptible to prompt injection and tool misuse. So you could switch to a top tier model, for example, GPT-5 Plus or Claude 4.5 Plus, but this would be way more expensive. Be super careful to set limits. For example, set it to $5 or only charge your account with $5, and then if the credits are gone, which can be super fast, it's super expensive. Yeah, that's it. So this is a basic setup. We're gonna do this one. Credentials directory is readable by others. Fix, and boom, we did this. We can run this again, and then this one should be gone. Now, I'll do follow-up videos on how to enable different skills, how I am using OpenClaw. This was super basic. There's a lot of hardening that you can do to your server to make it even safer. As I said, just basic setup right here. If you have any questions regarding the basic setup, please let me know in the comments. I'm using OpenClaw right now as a content machine. It's helping me prepare scripts, descriptions, metadata, craft posts, and all of that in my personal voice. It does research for me, sends it to me in the morning or weekly, sums up conversations, so all of that fun stuff. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to follow, because I will be talking a lot about those things, showing how I'm doing this. I know this was super basic, but if you had some questions around that or any problems, feel free to ask away in the comments. And yeah, let me know with which models you are using OpenClaw right now. And that all being said, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.